Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of my class and how to succeed in the class. And for this particular video, I'm going to be focusing on my CP biology class, which is historically what we call our regular biology, which is our college prep biology class. And so I'm going to be going over the keys to succeeding in my class. My name is Mr. Rice. Quick little background on me. I have a degree in environmental studies from UC Santa Barbara, and it was basically a mix of science as well as like politics and law, and all those elements will be covered in class on some level, especially like when we get into our endangered species project this semester. We'll be getting into some of the laws and politics surrounding endangered species, and so that's a big part of what I teach is like caring about the earth, caring about nature, caring about animals, and caring about the future of all those things as well. So that's a lot of my educational background and is a big reason why I became a teacher. I had been working with kids at summer camps for many years, and when I graduated, I just kind of combined my degree with this experience working with kids and became a teacher. And this is my 18th year at Calabasas High School teaching life sciences. So here we go. Let's get down to it. I have a timer going because YouTube will not allow me to upload videos much more than about 13 minutes. So I'm going to talk fast, but we'll be thorough and go over my website and some other things as well. So here we go. Okay, so first of all, in my class, there are unit notes that will be posted online and need to be hand copied over the weekend and before attending class at the beginning of the week. All these things I'm going to go over like the norms, by the way. So a normal weekend, this would be a homework assignment. This way they get their notes done in advance. And then let's just keep going. These notes will be used for a beginning of the week open note quiz worth 10 points. And so there's basically 10 multiple choice problems. They're designed to be easy. So if the students did their notes, they should be getting 90%, 100% every week. They're not designed to be challenging in the sense of confusing them or things like that. It's basically the way they're getting points for doing the homework. So it's a little confusing to some kids, but it's sort of like the quiz is the reward for doing the homework because the quiz is set up to be easy if they have their notes completed. And then let's just keep going. After the quiz, the notes will be reviewed in a slideshow. I have lots of slideshows with pictures, so they get a lot of visual elements in the class. And this allows them to ask questions and maybe even assess how they did on the open note quiz. But especially also getting that visual representation of a lot of abstract concepts and topics that I have to teach in biology. And then most weekly notes will also include a diagram or picture handouts to provide visual understanding of the content. So again, because of a lot of the biology is sort of a little more abstract to understand, especially when we get into cells and things like that, I do give out images that are part of their notes, which we'll get into on the next slide. So these notes and the diagrams we'll use to create the unit test. And the H in here stands for honors, which I won't be going over. So the very first strategy I created when I became a teacher was I was just going to tell the students everything they needed to know. So my high school biology teacher, for instance, would say, like, know these 4 chapters. And that's obviously can be very confusing and very nebulous. And so one of the commitments I've made to my classes and in the hope that they'll be as successful as possible is providing all the information that could possibly be on the test. And that's the same information that they're doing in their notes homework. So if they're doing their homework and getting good open note quiz scores, they're also simultaneously preparing for the bigger test. And I have 3 tests this semester. So there's 2 unit tests and then a final both semesters. And so it's really important, which here's where it says this, the weekly unit note preparation for open note quizzes and studying for the unit test is critical for success. And that includes those pictures that I give out. So a lot of kids leave the pictures behind, even all the way to the spring. And I'm always just kind of frustrated, don't understand, because they definitely need them for the test. There are picture questions on the test. And then all the other questions come straight from my notes. Okay, let's keep going. And let's skip the honors stuff. Okay, another weekly homework assignment are weekly vocabulary assignments, which help enhance comprehension of the weekly material. So back to my high school experience, when my teacher said, know these 4 chapters, and I just felt kind of lost and overwhelmed, one of the things I started doing was basically memorizing all the vocabulary. And what happened was I was acing all of her tests. And that was almost a surprise at first, and didn't realize that that was such a key to success in biology as a student. And then basically worked for me the whole school year. And so I applied that to the class as well. So vocabulary is just really critical for understanding this class, because there's a lot of vocabulary they really have never heard before, or maybe will never hear before. So having a grasp of the vocabulary terms and the concepts that go with them is really going to help them succeed, and also succeed maybe in other areas of their life, as we're going to expand their literacy and their vocabulary, which has benefits, beyond my class. These will always be 10 words, and I emphasize that because some of the ones we've already done, kids are doing 8 words, 9 words, and maybe aren't realizing there's always 10. So that's one easy way to make sure you've got all of the words, is to number them or something on the homework, and then you can see that all 10 are done. And they need to also be hand copied, and they need to be exactly hand copied as they're written in the glossary of the CP Biology textbook. And that glossary is on my website, which I'll show you in a bit. No abbreviations or modifications are allowed, and the weekly vocab is worth 5 points. So a couple things there. As far as hand copying the notes and hand copying the vocab, it's the only way I can know they did the work for sure, as opposed to just printing things out or getting an email from their friend and printing that out. And so the handwriting also helps them learn and absorb the information better. So there's a variety of benefits to the handwriting the assignments. And also no abbreviations or modifications. I emphasize this with my students. There's times in life where the writing needs to be perfect. College applications, resumes, things like that. Even gave them some personal examples that I've seen in my life in the first week of school. And it just is important that they know that, sometimes the way they write will matter, in using symbols and abbreviations could be seen as like they don't know how to write. So the vocabulary is an easy way to practice that and help remember that. At the end of some weeks, not all weeks, there will be a multiple choice vocab quiz that covers all of the assigned words. These quizzes are worth maybe between 10 to 20 points depending on how many words are covered. So we actually have not had a vocab quiz yet so far this year because of all the new students adding and things like that. I ended up just waiving the first quiz. The second quiz will probably get waived. I want to have at least one vocab quiz in Unit 1. And honestly, there's only one more set of words left for Unit 1. So probably we'll just have that one vocab quiz, just so at least we're starting those up. And then in Unit 2 with cells, we'll definitely be having these vocab quizzes every other week or so. And getting that vocab homework done and studying for those vocab quizzes is critical for success in my class. All right, this is an important note. Students will reuse the quiz Scantrons, the testing documents we use, which means the answers will be given back. So all students must make up their missing quizzes during support before the Scantron is returned, which is always at least a week, or the quiz may become a permanent 0. And I put names up on the board, which I'm going to talk about later, and have some things to help them remember. Otherwise, students just need to, keep on track and use the resources I have to keep themselves on track and know when they've missed a quiz. In-class participation. So there will be many types of activities. I was trained in my credential program to have a variety of modalities and types of activities, which helps tap into all sorts of different skills. And so one person might be better at one thing and another person might be better at another. And so this taps into a broad range of skills where everyone could be successful or maybe challenged at times as well. So these include labs, small group activities, drawings, movies, games, articles, all sorts of stuff. You have to participate, students have to participate in all class time activities and assignments and must commit to doing the best they can, or, they're risking losing points. All work is to be done individually unless the instructions explicitly say they can work together. Any copying or plagiarizing will result in a 0, and that is something that comes up every year, unfortunately. Students who are not participating in group activities and are using their lab group to do their work for them will receive a 0 for that class activity. And I always give warnings, so students will be warned, and if they keep not participating, then that would be because they're just really not doing what they're supposed to do, and they're distracting other people, and are just not doing the work and cannot get a score for it. Participation and commitment to doing quality work is critical to success in biology. All right, meeting deadlines. All assignments will be given a certain due date, and students must complete them on time and also turn them in on time. Work that is not completed and turned in on time will be given a 0 score. students can still earn points even if the assignment is not 100% complete. So they should always turn in whatever they have done in order to earn at least some points on the assignment. And I guess some teachers don't do that, but I do partial scores and things like that. If they got, 20% of it done, then they might at least get 20% of the points, and that's better than nothing. Absent classwork. Students will be given an extension, usually up to a week, for absent classwork. And that will be online, which I'll show you here in a second. And a student who is absent the day an assignment is due is expected to turn it in the day they return. A student is absent the day it is assigned will have an extension up to the number of days they missed. And special deadlines can also be arranged in the case of family emergencies, so long as a parent or guardian emails me regarding the incident. It doesn't have to be a lot of detail. Just sometimes, kids won't tell the truth, so it'll, help support what a student is saying, that if they've had some emergency and they couldn't get their work done, it does help have that backup email from home. And meeting deadlines is critical for success in biology and just life in general. As far as late work, students are allowed 2 late assignments a semester. This does not include the notes since they are linked to the OpenNote quiz. And there are a few other exceptions as well due to the fact that they are linked to other assignments or activities, such as like bringing in a lab sample. So if they don't bring that sample, like we'll go over this, it's more of a second semester thing, but if they don't bring something in for the lab doesn't get extended and the score for that homework element will be a 0. Also, large research projects that we've had a lot of time to complete will not get like a late work extension. All right, and so we have some weekly points based on what we call college and career readiness. So this one's pretty long, so I'm going to do it quickly. LVUSD has adopted the Student 360 program, which focuses on the growth and development of the whole student, which includes their personal conduct on campus and in the classroom. In order to help students develop these skills and an understanding of the expectations of professors and employers, college and career readiness points will be part of the overall score in the class. This score will be worth approximately 10% of their total grade, which will be enough to have an impact on the student's grade if they are consistently unable to meet these expectations. Every week, students will start with 5 points in areas, less for shortened weeks, that they will keep so long as they're able to meet these expectations. Points will be lost when these standard expectations are not met, so it's important for students to make it a common practice to meet these expectations on an ongoing basis. On areas in the comments section, there will be brief notes indicating why students lost CCR points, so the parents can see why the points were lost. And so this is in my syllabus. I'm going to ask that if you're not sure what this is referring to, please go through the syllabus. We can kind of consider it like behavior points, being disruptive, being defiant, not going to your seat when told to, throwing things in the classroom, interrupting other students, just a lot of sort of standard expectations, but this will help reward the students who are fulfilling those expectations and have some consequences for those that don't. This is something I'm hoping all students will be earning all these points 100% of the time, but there are things that do add up for some students, and I'm going to ask that you look at the syllabus with your student and go through some of those expectations. All right, I'm going to go over my Google Classroom. In my classroom, I also have a homework and makeup quiz board. I have a no-name tray by my front door, so if there's no name on the work, they can grab it from the front door. Hopefully they can find it. Makeup work will be in assignment folders online, and then absent papers I put on a cabinet by my front door. And I'm just kind of rushing here at the end because I want to get to my website and show you a couple things. I'm just going to use period 1 here. So here you can see some assignments. This is in the classwork tab of Google Classroom. You can see here's some different things like the daily agenda and syllabus. And the weekly notes that I was talking about are in this folder. And there's also the vocabulary. So this is the glossary that they use to get their vocabulary words. So it does need to come from this source because that's what the assignment is. And also this is where the quiz questions will be made from. So of course it's not loading, so I'm going to skip that, but it's in here. I'm starting to worry I'm running out of time. So it's in here, and the list of all the words are right here. And then I just want to make sure I go over at least one more thing. Like if somebody is absent, like I have a whole bunch of new students after the first 2 weeks of school. So I have put in here for the heart rate lab, which we did the second week of school. Oh, there's the timer. Absent students or new students. Whoops, don't want to do that. Sorry. So here it says absent or new students. To use the link below to do a makeup assignment. So let's say a student has missed the heart rate lab, which is our first major activity. They would need to come into the folder and figure out what they need to do, and it does have a deadline here. as well. I posted this on September 12th, so you can see I gave them 10 days to get it done. And it would be turned in by hand, so that's something they can, give me directly. They wouldn't turn in online. If they are supposed to turn in online, it'll tell them to do that as well. So I'm hoping I did not make this video too long and it'll all fit on YouTube. And I hope that, clears up a lot of things about how the class is run. And I guess email me if you have any questions.